I think Angel herself has handled the criticism, has handled all the...
Like, she's been a dog, and I've always admired that. I love players that go out there and play with something on their shoulders. You can tell Kennedy plays with the story on her.
Did you know that in the last 24 hours, social media mentions of Sheryl Swoopes and Angel Reese have skyrocketed by 500%, all because of one coaching change and a few comments. Now, everyone's playing detective, trying to connect the dots. But the real story here isn't just about a job. It's about the pressure these women are under in the spotlight. Be prepared for the first twist in the WNBA drama. Things did not begin with a tense play or an argument. Rather, it was a seemingly benign comment that startled the league. Who would have thought that someone's appreciation could make such a stir? Sheryl Swoopes, a prominent figure in women's basketball, kicked it off by complimenting Caitlyn Clark. This may not seem like a big concern to some people. The athletes often congratulate each other, but this wasn't your average compliment. Swoopes complimented Clark for increasing the WNBA's profile and earnings in a lengthy speech. That is quite astounding coming from a legend like Swoopes.
Right there to congratulate me or just be somebody that's offered advice. So to pass somebody like her, I'm just forever thankful.
And it's different from being a pro. Obviously, I haven't lived that, but you just kind of know that from watching the WNBA. I'm a big fan. And
however, things are now beginning to get odd. This compliment was greatly earned. It occurred immediately after Teresa Weatherspoon was fired from the Chicago Sky. How about the timing? When fans began to communicate, the gossip machine went into overdrive. Many people wanted to know why Swoopes was praising Clark just now. For some admirers, it was more than just a gesture of goodwill. There were reports that Swoopes was considering taking up Weatherspoon's former post.
I grew up watching players, whether it was Maya Moore, whether it's Steph Curry. Those are the people I always loved watching their game, the way they...
When Kennedy Carter hip-checked Caitlyn, was that a basketball play? Absolutely not.
Think about it. You're a brilliant basketball player. A coaching position opens up, and you suddenly find yourself in the spotlight for your appreciation of a new player in the league. Can this possibly be a coincidence? Perhaps in such situation. It did, however, spark conversation. People were curious for reasons other than the timing. Swoopes congratulated Clark and moved on. She was also speaking with another talented young athlete, Angel Reese. Swoopes appeared to be enthusiastic about mentoring Reese as they spoke. She also stated, "I'm just so proud of you. Remember the context, or it may appear as simply another usual thing an experienced player would say to a beginner." While Weatherspoon is out of work, Swoopes is talking about coaching a young player in the league with a lot of promise. Conspiracy theories were extremely prominent during this time period. The rate at which fans made connections outpaced that of the players on the floor.
That'll go in the record books as Caitlyn Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is.
Off the court too, which is really cool, which is really funny too. So I'm just happy to have them on my team. Last time we spoke...
Is Swoopes trying to make a name for herself as the next big coach? They inquired. Does she want to influence the league's decisions through her position, similar to the game of basketball chess? But instead of abstract moving pieces on a board, actual jobs and lives are at stake. First things first, we are unable to confirm the truth of these rumors. However, in professional sports, perception may be as strong as fact. Whatever Swoopes' reasons, her remarks generated a flurry of controversy and research. And what do you know? Things get pretty bizarre. The whole affair underlines the importance of language in the WNBA. A casual conversation about coaching and some small talk can quickly escalate into a full-fledged conspiracy theory. Like supporters and analysts were analyzing every word and gesture with a magnifying lens.
Player did it in this amount of time, then you should do it in that same amount of time. So that's my thought on that.
The issue here.
Imagine you're a budding WNBA star who receives a teaching offer from a legendary basketball player. Isn't it interesting? There is an asterisk though, because your existing coach was recently fired. That excellent offer suddenly loses a lot of its appeal. Will this signal the beginning of a new era or cause a stir throughout the league? That's exactly how Angel Reese found herself. Reese's interview with Sheryl Swoopes, a hot new WNBA star, has sparked widespread interest. Swoopes, a true basketball legend, was fascinated by the prospect of teaching Reese. She also stated, "I'm just so proud of you." Although this may appear to be a simple conversation between a seasoned player and a novice, things quickly become more complicated. This conversation took place shortly after Teresa Weatherspoon was sacked from her post as Chicago Sky coach. Such an awkward scenario. scenario, Reese has been quite open about how much he admires Weatherspoon. I mean, I've had some incredible professors in my time, but this one is just exceptional, she remarked. When I don't believe in myself, she believes in me. That is very admirable. Assume you are Teresa Weatherspoon's aide. You've already lost your job after learning about Reese and Swoopes' talk. Describe your feelings. You believe you are aware of your star players' pre-cold chair interactions with potential replacement coaches. That must be painful. It's comparable to playing chess, but the stakes are actual careers. On the one hand, Reese is loyal to Weatherspoon. However, it's exciting to consider working with a legend like Swoopes. This story exemplifies the long-standing tension between personal ambitions and professional commitments.
Jealous of Angel and mad at Angel and a hater of Angel, that's because that's what the narrative is.
And be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason.
From where did this come? I am afraid. Weatherspoon is no longer with us. Therefore, Swoopes and Reese are discussing about collaborating. Unusual incident or storyline. Everyone is trying to figure it out. For some viewers, it acts as a prelude to something grander. Some claim that it's simply a question of timing. That is why there is volatility in the WNBA. This is no longer only about coaching changes. The entire league dynamic is on the line. Reese, veteran coach Weatherspoon, and rising star Swoopes find themselves in the midst of this uproar. It reveals the WNBA's complicated network of connections.
A record. To me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player said it.
What else is crazy? Everyone is watching this as it happens. Every word spoken and every exchange is recorded on camera. Fans of the Women's National Basketball Association are captivated in every turn as if they were watching a reality show. The difficulty is that we have no idea what is really going on in the background. Perhaps Swoopes just wanted to be friendly. Perhaps Reese simply wanted to pick the brain of a real-life legend. Perhaps there is a hidden level of complexity. The problem about professional sports is that there's always something going on behind the scenes. Oh, you think coaching is the main point of contention? Think about it again. Everyone is discussing someone else's layer. The WNBA's present concerns extend beyond the individual in charge of the league from the sidelines. 3 things are up for grabs: race, equity, and superstar power, all of which have the potential to shake up an entire league.
Yeah. They should be grateful. They should be thankful. They shouldn't go hard against her. Bullshit. Yeah. She's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like,
let's take a moment to look at the larger picture from a distance. The WNBA faces more challenges than just player dynamics and coaching changes. Justice and racism are contentious issues in the league. It's best characterized as riding a unicycle while juggling. At this stage, include Caitlyn Clark in the calculations. She is experiencing harsh criticism as a result of her tremendous celebrity. Many individuals are unhappy with Clark's current level of attention. Several people have expressed concern about the apparent racial bias in her promotion as compared to other league players. Jason Whitlock has entered the conflict, exhibiting his lack of fear of confrontation. He claims and blames the WNBA for being discriminatory towards specific races. According to Whitlock, the league's preference for Asia Wilson over Caitlyn Clark stems from racial justice and identity politics. He went on to say, Nike won't even put out a Caitlyn Clark commercial because they must bow to the angry black feminists, the whole identity politics movement. Still, Whitlock isn't the only one causing trouble. Brittany Griner, another well-known WNBA star, is advocating for reform. The frequency of racist and sexist insults directed at the players concerns her the most. Griner is calling with the league to take action so that everyone can play in a safe environment. She went on, I don't think it's right, making a statement, making a stand. We all deserve to play in a safe environment. At this point, it's clear that this is more than just a coaching change.
In the W, the same type of player she was, she's the same type of coach.
We're looking at a league that is attempting to strike a balance between superstardom, equity, and a varied roster. It would be like trying to solve a problem while blindfolded. Legends like Swoopes, as well as up-and-coming talents like Reese and Clark, are at the center of all of this talk and excitement. This entire scandal highlights the WNBA's complexities. What happens on the court is not the most important thing right now. Every decision, comment, praise, and criticism is well examined. Fans, players, and the league itself are all keeping an eye on things as they try to figure out how to move forward without excluding anyone. What else is crazy? The WNBA is currently experiencing unprecedented popularity, and this issue is occurring at the same time. The amount of play, the number of sponsors participating, and the number of viewers have all expanded considerably. However, with all of this exposure comes more scrutiny. Every decision the league makes is thoroughly scrutinized from all angles. The WNBA appears to be dealing with some growing pains. Their goal is to showcase rising talent while retaining seasoned players in the mix.
We understand each other. I can get on her and she can get on me. So I'm super excited for Kennedy. I mean, she deserves this more than anybody else. And
Before we lose in the round of 32 to Creighton, you know, that's a failure in itself. But I think if we didn't have the fire inside of
They are exposing their talent regardless of color in an effort to promote diversity. They're juggling all of these responsibilities while also trying to keep fans interested and grow the game. What a skillful piece of juggling. Why are Swoopes, Reese, and Weatherspoon even involved in this? What began as a minor coaching drama has turned into something far larger. It has come to represent all of the WNBA's contemporary challenges. This particular story combines themes of equity, celebrity power, and racism. Allow me to summarize the WNBA's crazy path. Reese is torn between ambition and patriotism. Weatherspoon loses his job, and Swoopes compliments Clark. No, the drama is about more than simply them. A league is attempting to learn about itself. The WNBA has two key decisions to make. They're coping with stardom, racial tensions, and growing pains all at once. Attempting a three-pointer while shaky on a unicycle must have been challenging. In fact, this disagreement precisely represents the WNBA's expanding complexity. Every movement and word is constantly scrutinized. What happens on the court is not the most important thing right now. Remember that while reading WNBA news, there is usually more to it than meets the eye. Continue to look and ask questions. How ridiculous is that?